Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us for this special Life After Graduation episode with Alexa. She is one of our UoPeople alumni. I am Sarah O, the digital content producer here at UoPeople, and I'm going to let her introduce herself to all of you today.
Hello, I'm Alexa. I'm from California in the United States, and I'm an alumni from University of the People.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Alexa, again for being here with us today. Do you want to let everyone know what UoPeople program you graduated from?
I graduated from the Masters of Education program.
That's awesome. For those of you who don't know, the Masters of Education program is our smallest program. So I'm really excited that we have a student here that can give you guys some insights about what it's like to earn your degree, especially the Masters of Education from University of the People. And what do you currently do for work?
I'm currently a teacher for an international school here in Malaysia.
That's awesome. A lot of students are interested in becoming teachers, especially in the Masters of Education program. So I'm happy that you're able to use your degree directly in your work now as a teacher in an international school. On top of that, a lot of our students, they're from different parts of the world. So I'm sure that a lot of your experiences at UoPeople has been able to help you now as a teacher in a diverse community. And what made you choose UoPeople?
Well, there was a lot of factors. I've been teaching for the last 7 years roughly outside
Wow.
of the United States, and I have a bachelor's in environmental ethics and policy. And I was during the pandemic sitting at home teaching online. I thought it might be a good idea to pursue a degree, but under the debt from my bachelor's degree, it wasn't really a feasible option. So I was shopping around for months and months, and I applied to a university here in Malaysia, but because of the pandemic and the visa restrictions, I was accepted, but I wasn't allowed to start. So I had to flatten that idea, and a friend of mine suggested that I look at University of the People, and I had heard about it way back, and I never thought the idea would take off. I was like, there's no way that could possibly happen. That would be too good.
Yeah.
But when I looked into it, it was a blossoming program, and I thought there's no tuition. There's only like the fees for assessment and basically
Right.
like the server costs, it looks like. So I applied, and I was able to pay for the whole thing with my salary, which was
Wow.
really nice.
Yeah, I know a lot of students, if you're not in the United States, I also got my degree from, a traditional American university. Student loans are insane in the United States. So I was really happy that you're able to find University of the People, and we do have those minimal fees. So it's not going to be something that's going to be a big lift. And for students who are outside of the US who might not be able to afford those, remember we have scholarships. I know there are probably people in the comments who are like, when can I get it? Just reach out to admissions at uopeople.edu if you need help at any point with the admissions process here at UoPeople. But I'm super happy that you're able to find University of the People. You were able to earn your degree without getting into more debt. That's honestly our goal
Yeah.
here at University of the People for a lot of our students. And do you feel that your experience at UoPeople prepared you for the workforce and the real world?
Absolutely. Actually, I was teaching full time while I was doing my master's, which I definitely wouldn't recommend for everyone, but it was directly applicable to my work. So I actually took all the concepts that I was learning in class, and I applied them in my classroom with my students. And I did my capstone project with my own students, and it was incredibly valuable. I still
Yeah.
use those concepts, and if anybody who is a current University of the People student knows that Evernote portfolio will actually follow you
Yes.
throughout your career if you're in the education program. It's remarkably relevant.
Wow.
It was something that I didn't get from my bachelor's as much, which was surprising to me
Yeah.
given the cost difference, and the fact that University of the People is completely online made it so that I was able to work into my schedule how things would fit in on my own time
Right.
with my own professional life as well.
Yeah.
So very valuable.
That's awesome. Yeah. And a lot of students, for those of you who don't know, all of our classes are asynchronous. So you're basically given the materials, you do your peer reviews on your own time. You do have days that your assignments are due. But for students who are full time parents or full time workers, like Alexa was, you're able to fit it into your schedule. You don't have to be worried about sitting in front of a computer for 2 hours every night at a specific time. We know that people are busy, that you have things going on outside of school. So I'm happy that you're able to also, gain that real world experience while utilizing all of the resources that UoPeople had to offer for your Master's of Education degree. And what would you say was the biggest issue or challenge you faced while attending UoPeople?
I would say that the biggest issue was I was really ambitious.
Yeah.
I did succeed though. I did I did succeed, so I
Yes.
am proud of that. I ended up at one point taking 4 courses at one time
Wow.
while working full time, and I
Wow.
maybe slept like 2 hours a night for the
Wow.
entire 6 weeks
That
that
is
the course was.
insane. But
Yeah, it was
ambitious, like you
insane.
said, you did it.
Yeah, I did it, and I did it very well, I have to say, I'll give myself a pat on
Yes.
the back for that one,
Yes,
but,
definitely.
if I would say if you don't know yourself very well and how you work alone without having a professor there in your face all the time or having a lecture that you are required to go to, then I wouldn't recommend this program because it's really you have to know what you're going to do and if you're going to do it or not.
Exactly.
So the self-discipline was probably the most difficult part,
Yeah.
but outside of that, everything was very easy. All of the signups, maybe trying to get the classes you want while you're trying to beat everybody at
Yes.
registration. But other than that, that was the only issue.
Even at traditional American universities, I remember you had to sign up at a specific time. And then at my university, the seniors got to go and then the freshmen were the last. So it's always, it's always a battle for the classes you want at any university.
Yeah.
But like you said, time management is a huge thing. At traditional American universities, you typically have a classroom to go to, and then you can talk to your professor. You can still talk to your professor at UoPeople through our online, our online campus called Moodle. But time management is 100% a factor, and the fact that you were able to manage a full-time job and 4 courses at UoPeople, like I just want to applaud you for that because that is not an easy task, and you were able to do that and earn your degree from University of the People. So kudos to you for that, 100%. And what would you say are your favorite class, or excuse me, what would you say are your favorite courses or facilitators and why?
There was a education for sustainability class that was probably my absolute favorite with Dr. Lozano. And the thing that you mentioned about being able to contact your professors, when I was in traditional university in the States, getting a hold of your professor was like going fishing. Like maybe
Yes.
you would be able to find him,
Yeah.
maybe if you were lucky. But I never had that problem at University of People. So I have 3 top professors: Dr. Lozano, Dr. Quayson, and Dr. Navarro were so helpful to me, not only just with the content of the lessons that they were teaching, but also as mentors. I mean, I went to Dr. Quayson in my first semester and was like, people are asking me what I am, and I don't really know how to identify what it is that I do. And
Yeah.
he gave me the advice to call myself an international educator rather than
Oh,
an EAL instructor, because it is a little bit different than
right.
what a typical EAL instructor would do.
Yeah.
EAL is English as an additional language for anybody who doesn't know. And Dr. Navarro held my hand through the capstone process. And actually, we're still talking now after I graduated on the different concepts that I discussed in my capstone.
Wow.
And Dr. Lozano was hugely influential in me picking my capstone topic. My topic was social emotional learning in diverse learners using
Yeah.
environmental education as the means to deliver it. And his entire course on sustainability and education was what helped me to mold the study. So it was very nice to have him there holding my hand
Yeah.
through the whole process. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm happy that you're able to, have such, qualified instructors and be able to find someone as a mentor. That's something that's really important. A lot of students sometimes they struggle to feel like, oh, I'm not going to reach out and I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to suffer in silence. And you don't have to do that, People. Our instructors are available. You can reach them through Moodle. And I was happy you were able to talk to him and, identify yourself in a way that was more aligned with what you were doing and how you were learning. I taught sixth grade English, like ELA, but just English language arts in the U.S. before I started working at UoPeople. So it's really important, especially when you're working in an international community, to identify yourself accordingly so that people understand what you're doing, how you're doing it. And it's really amazing that you were able to take your bachelor's degree experience in, environmental justice and use that in your capstone project with working with that doctor, and like talking about different ways for you to utilize the things that you knew into the things that you wanted to do for education. So that's really amazing. I'm happy you were able to, have that full and in-depth experience at University of the People.
Yeah,
And
it actually helped me to further my career quite a bit more, where I created a position at the institution I work for that's the
wow,
sustainability coordinator. We didn't have one before, but the project that I led for my capstone resulted in creating a community garden for the school that
wow,
is hopefully going to help feed into our canteen. So it's a lot of active learning for environmental education, and it
yeah,
required a position to continue. So I had a chat with the leader of the school, and then this position was created that I'm
wow.
hoping will go further into developing a department.
That's amazing. I think it's very important, especially right now. Global warming still does exist. The environment is really going through it. So I'm really happy that you're able to take such an initiative and like create a position. I'm fingers crossed. I'm really hoping that you can have the opportunity to, create a whole department, because I do think that environmental justice is something that's super important and it needs to have a lot more attention, especially in the educational field. And outside of all those amazing things that you're able to do in your courses and with your facilitators, how are you able to meet and connect with other students at your people?
I think University of the People kind of forces you to with the way that the courses are set up. I'm not
Yes,
sure if the other programs are set up the same way, but there's a group project component to every course you take. Uh, that was pretty challenging at times because so many students are living in opposite time zones from you. So
right.
how do you coordinate with
Yeah,
people that you're writing a paper with that are on the other side of the planet? Maybe they don't speak English as their first language.
right.
Maybe they don't have access to internet 7 days a week. So it was really difficult to coordinate. But actually, somebody I was in a group project with just messaged me like 10 minutes ago asking for some help. So we still talk to each other. I have some plans to meet up with a couple of people that I was in group projects with that would
Good.
like to come to Malaysia later. So you do
Wow.
make lifelong friends in the program if you want to.
Yeah.
There's also Yammer. I didn't use
Yes.
Yammer so much, mostly because I was so busy with everything else that I didn't really have time for the socializing. There's a WhatsApp group that I'm still a
Right.
part of where people ask like logistical questions. So like, I don't know how to sign up for this class. Does anybody have this paper? I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, really, really strong community that I actually never got in a traditional university.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your friends when you go to traditional university, but that's like the people that you are friends with, not
Right.
colleagues. The
Yeah.
University of the People kind of develops colleagues, which
Yeah.
is really nice.
That's really great that you were able to do that, and the fact that you're still in contact with them. A lot of students sometimes they struggle with the peer-to-peer review process, or they're like, I don't want other people to look at my work. I just want the course facilitator to do it. But it really does help you, especially if you're looking at work from people that are actually going to be working in your field, whether it's the Masters of Education, whether it's business administration, computer science, health science. All of it's really important and able like to expand your mind, to expand your understanding about what other people are seeing. You can learn the same thing, read the same assignments, and have a completely different outlook on what you're going to do with that information. So it's really amazing that you're still in contact with them. I'm happy that have these lifelong colleagues, this lifelong network of educators that also come from a diverse background of University of the People, getting to know different people, getting to know different cultures. That's really amazing. And we have two more questions before we end out this great interview. What advice do you have for students who are starting out at University of the People?
Well, make sure you have all your stuff together. like if you go into this like this is gonna be a walk in the park and I can do this like in an hour a week. No,
Yeah,
you can't. Trust
yeah,
me. You need to make sure that you have either the willpower to put in the time or the actual time.
yeah.
So like I think I spent 6 hours a week minimum on
Yeah.
each class, just with the readings and the assignments. And then on top of that, you're organizing your portfolio. So, I mean, each class that you take is a minimum of 6 hours.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's if you're speed reading and speed note taking throughout the whole process. So it can be quite time consuming. And if you don't know how to manage your schedule properly, then you can really mess it up. I had a timetable on the outside of my home office door so that my partner could see it and be like, oh, I can't go and bother her
Yes.
right now because
That's
she's busy
awesome.
doing something. Yeah, well, that came after a lot of interruptions. And I was like, okay, look, we
Yes.
can't, we
You
can't
have
do
to
that
know.
anymore.
It's a group effort, honestly. If you want to succeed at UoPeople, it's a group effort for yourself. It's a group effort for your family members. That timetable idea, I might have to do that for my own my own self at home, because you can get interrupted. You can like, there are distractions that can take you away from your studies, but I'm happy that you knew at least 6 hours for a course. It's really important. It's not going to be something, oh, I can just read this for an hour a week and then I can submit the assignment and get a good grade. You are going to get a course assessment at the end of each term, and every term is 9 weeks. So if you're not taking the 9 weeks seriously and you just spend 8 weeks just kind of, I'm just doing this really quickly, it's not gonna, it might not fare well for you at the end. But if you take the time to learn, to understand, to digest information, to take notes, to speed read, to regular read, to make sure that you understand the information, you will succeed at university people. But time management, I know a lot of students struggle with it when they first start, because they think, oh, it's online, and then you forget your first assignment, or you forget to read this course material, and then all of a sudden everything starts piling up. So manage your time accordingly if you want to succeed at UoPeople. I think that's a great piece of advice for anyone who's starting out here. And last question, what advice do you have for students who are looking for future careers or programs to apply to?
I would say don't waste your time on a program that you're not sure is going to be beneficial to your career. For me, I already knew I was good. I was already teaching. I've been
Right.
teaching for years, so I already knew that this would be something that would apply to my career. But that would be one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I went to my undergraduate university is I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then when I did know what I wanted to do, I didn't know if there was a job doing what I wanted to do.
Right.
And that's actually how I ended up teaching because I didn't have a job in the field that I
Yeah.
wanted to go into. So I ended up teaching and then figuring out that that's actually what I wanted to do ultimately. And it worked
Yeah.
out better. But I would have saved myself a lot of time, a lot of headaches, a lot of worries, a lot of money, a lot of frustration if I had just really solidified what I wanted to do and like figured out the pathway after that. So your education is important, but maybe this isn't as important for you. If you want to be a
Right.
mechanic, there's no point in you getting a master's in education,
Right.
like it doesn't make any sense. So I think that this traditional idea of you need to go to college at 18 no matter what
Yeah.
is ridiculous
Yeah.
because how can you possibly know what you want to do for the rest of your life when you're 18 years old and you've never
Right.
seen anything in the world? Um, Students who are looking for future careers and programs really take the time to figure out what it is that you want to do because it is
Yeah.
an investment. If you're
Right.
investing in something that isn't worthwhile to you, then that seems like a pretty poor investment. I'm not a business
Yeah.
student, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, honestly, that's a great piece of advice. And I think, especially in the US, it's something that a lot of students struggle with. They think that, oh, I could just go to college and do something. But when it really comes down to it, you want to make sure that your degree is going to be helping you in the long run. And even though you did environmental justice and that might not have been what you ended up doing straight out of college, now you're able to use that in your teaching in this new like role for your school. It kind of like is a full circle moment almost. Like you didn't think that you're going to be able to, you like literally full circle. You didn't think you'd be able to use it at first, and now you're utilizing it in a way that you probably wouldn't have even thought of when you were 18. And you have 7 years of teaching experience. You're living abroad. You're doing all these amazing things, and it kind of took a little bit of a curved path to get there. But you're able to really, be your most authentic self and do something that you enjoy now without having to go into more debt since you decided to get your master's of education from UoPeople. So That's amazing advice. And I'm sure everyone in the chat is really appreciative of hearing all of your insights, especially because our Masters of Education program is our smallest program. So I'm super happy that you can give them a lot more detailed insights as to what goes on and how they can utilize their degree after graduation. So I want to say thank you so much again, Alexa, for this amazing interview. Is there anything you want to say before we sign off for today?
Just do it if you want to. It's a great university. It has excellent professors, and you can do it if you want to.
Yes, that's great advice. And yes, thank you to every single person who's commented, who's liked, who shared this video. I hope that every one of you have a great day or night, no matter where you are in the world. And we will see you on our next video. Bye, everyone.